Here we go, just like that, Rob. We are live here at ISTE, Philadelphia. How you doing this morning?
I'm doing great, Matt. How you doing?
I'm good. Bright and early. We're rocking and rolling. As you can see, we are live here. People walking by, saying hi, taking pictures. And this is what makes it so exciting, that we have the opportunity to connect with educators like our next guest, solution providers like Tech. And where will they find you today?
Booth 1114.
All right, go on and check that out. But people aren't here to just hear us talk about each other and the booths. Oh, some fun people might be walking by, but who they really want to see are the people that are coming on to share their stories. So I want to welcome in and kicking off our podcast, none other than Steve Dembo.
Why, hello.
Hello, a little
delay. Morning.
Yeah, this is exciting. It feels like coming back home again, you know?
Well, it's funny. You see behind Steve is the Ask Me sign. And just know, this is where we are to podcast. If you have tech help, it's not here. Although we have some amazing tech support, and we have TEQ Tech. And I know, Steve, you work in the tech space in your school. So for those who don't know you, share a little bit about your background and your current role.
Oh, geez. So I am actually just in the middle of switching roles. I'm going from teaching computer science to 6th, 7th, and 8th grade to serving as Director of Digital Innovation for Western Springs Digital 101, starting in just a few days. So kind of excited for the transition, something new.
That's very exciting. Hey, let me ask you a question. Is this your first ISTE here?
No, I've been to one or two or maybe about 24, give or take.
All right.
I believe I've actually presented at the last. I think I've presented at the last 20 of them.
Wow, nice.
Ooh.
Yeah, give or take.
So you're obviously presenting here then to keep that streak alive. What are some of the things that you're going to be sharing, and if you know the specifics, share them out.
Okay, so the first thing we're going to be doing is volunteering in the ISTEverse. James McCray has put together a phenomenal, to call it a playground is really underselling it. There's going to be some incredible opportunities to get hands-on with a wide variety of virtual reality experiences. So definitely stop by there, put it in your schedule. I'll be volunteering there a couple of times. In terms of presentations, I'm doing 2 presentations on artificial intelligence. The school that I've been teaching at, we put our stake in the ground and decided to start teaching AI at every grade level throughout the curriculum. So I was already on tap to do that, and then we added one more. So doing those, and then doing a presentation on creating art physically as well as on screen through code. You know, taking the creative things that the kids create through Python or through Turo logo and actually getting it off the screen and making 3D objects and vinyl cutting, laser cutting, and so on. And then doing a couple of workshops on making video games, how to code video games using things like Make.
Oh, keeping busy.
Yeah, why not? I mean, listen, if you're here, you're here, right?
May as well, yep.
Yeah, and you were just part of the Tech and Learning event for the last couple of days, so that's fun.
Oh, that was phenomenal. I mean, honestly, one of the best things about that event is you get to hear so many different perspectives, and if one thing doesn't grab you, the next 3 will. Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Great way to kick off the conference.
Yeah, and kick off the podcast. So I'm psyched that we were able to make this work with your busy schedule. This is a special time and everything to make this happen. So you were sharing yesterday something with me about some of your students building and having patents for projects. One of the things I always want to hear from individuals is how are they impacting students to have that courage and voice in their work. So what are some of the things that you're doing to give the students the confidence, not just the technology skills?
One of the main things, sort of like one of the 10-pole principles at the school where I've been teaching, is no ceilings. Above anything, there's obviously got to be a floor. You got to bring everybody up to a certain level. But if a student is ready to push forward and do something different and try something new, or to really go that extra mile, we're not ever going to constrain them from doing so. So we do a lot of projects where there are certain things that I want to make sure every student learns how to do: inputs, outputs, resistors, how to solder, those kinds of things. But all of the lessons are sort of intended to not just be you're doing A, B, and C and checking off these boxes. It's sort of open-ended, so the kids that really want to dig deep and go further, that they can. So that's sort of led to these opportunities where kids who have we've done a design thinking project. We do that every year. Some kids really take it that extra mile, and the work that they've done, they've been able to actually apply for patents. So we've got a couple that have been issued, and the others were pretty darn confident.
And I think just having that knowledge built with confidence is going to help them celebrate the journey of what we're doing. Oh, we got a 20 for 20 to watch here. Chris Brooks. This is why it's fun. This is why it happens. It's like what happens in the classroom. And one of the things we talked about as well, not just yesterday, but throughout our friendship and knowing each other, is students celebrating the process. And things happen like this. People walk by, we say hi. Things happen in schools. When you're doing coding, it's not going to work probably the first time. How do you build that resiliency in students?
Giving them lots and lots of opportunities to fail, which means not scripting the experiences. It's very, very easy to create experiences where everybody's going to be successful. It's much harder to create, or more valuable, I'd say, to create experiences where they probably will fail 3 or 4 times, but done so in a structured environment with supports, with mentorship, so that you can help them get back on their feet, try it again, and so on. I actually have a student, grades have been closed for 3 weeks now. I have a student who just made more changes to their final project and sent it in to me to review, even though the grades are done. He's graduated from our school. He's gone off to high school and still working on his final project. That's the kind of stuff we want.
And that's the difference between teaching something that students consume and building creators.
Yeah. And I heard something really interesting that goes right along those lines. An expression that I'd never heard before until last week, although I'm sure it's a popular one: fail forward.
Yes.
And I absolutely, I heard it, I processed it, and then I've repeated it so many times in the last week. Fail forward, and it goes with what you're saying perfectly.
Yeah, our buddy Carl Hooker wrote the veritable Bible on failing. His book is called Ready, Set, Fail. If you haven't checked it out, it's absolutely worth checking. I mean, it basically turns failure into a process. You're designing for it and build. Oh, look at this!
There you go.
We got a copy here.
How
convenient! What a coincidence!
How convenient!
But you're right though. It's critical that they learn that resilience and learn to move. And when it's done and done right, it makes them better. Steve Bird, everybody. There we go.
There we go. This is the power of live podcasting. Why it's so much fun out here in doing that. For sure. So speaking of failure and evolving, what I think it was 2013, you wrote this, Untangling the Web.
Nice intro. Speaking of failure.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, that's great.
No, what I'm saying is those strategies today wouldn't work because it's 20 years or 12
Ironically,
years.
So
This is what happens, people. We are live. People are walking by. Come on, you got to say hi, and then we're going to get to Steve's project. We have Mary Alice Curran. We have Jamie
Donnelly,
and our next guest is here already. so you get to see what we're doing. So, so for clarity, I wasn't saying the book was a failure.
No,
I'm saying,
I know.
I know, but I just want to be sure. But if you implemented those strategies today, it's going to be very different. Give me something that's evolved. Yeah.
What we tried to focus in on the tools and the resources we thought everybody should know at that moment in time. And at that moment in time, things were fairly stable. And I would say the majority, if we were to look up, or the majority of the things in that book are probably still relevant, even if the screenshots may have changed. And I mean, I actually did a presentation, I think it was 2 years ago, about how everything old is new again. And a lot of times we fall into this trap in ed tech of always just trying to figure out and find what's sexy and what's new. When honestly, a lot of the like if you take the AI revolution right now and just focus on what's sexy and new, I guarantee you 2/3 of what we see that's sexy and new right now is not going to stand up to the test of time. And a lot of these websites like that may not be sexy anymore, like a Padlet or a Poll Everywhere. They're still around because they have withstood the test of time, because they've adapted to educators' needs, because they've got a pricing model that works, and so on and so forth. So that's what I would say is, don't get married to one tool or one strategy or one lesson, but focus on the ideas and the big things, and focus on what we know works if you're going to really invest. I believe definitely in exploring and in playing and so on and so forth. But when it comes time to invest funds and really make a commitment to something, do it to something that's well established.
Absolutely. So check it out. And Steve will be here for many presentations. What are you planning to or hope to learn while you're here?
Honestly, the biggest thing for me right now is artificial intelligence. I think that's the big player in the room, and it's what I'm really looking for is to have some deep conversations about what this means for education and where things are going to be going with it. I mean, I could show you 1,000 examples of how teachers are using it today, but I think we really don't. I don't think we know what the good uses for it are yet. And I think we really need to do a lot of reflecting, a lot of synthesizing, a lot of debating and battling over it to figure out where this is really going to go. So that's what I'm looking forward to spending a lot of time doing, and talking with some way smarter educators than myself.
Well, I absolutely agree with you about one thing. Effective trumps sexy all the time. Sexy is great, looks good for a couple of days. Effective is going to last. Company I work for has been around for 50 years, and it's because we've been doing what we can to help educators, and now partnering up with Matt and this Stronger Together podcast. It's really just wonderful. And on that note, my question for you is, what do you think of when you hear Stronger Together?
Oh my gosh, it takes me back to that phrase, that the smartest person in the room is the room. It's all well and good to get one or two resources, or to say like, oh, I got something I can bring back to it. But when you actually build relationships, when you build partnerships, when you build, a community, that's what becomes self-sustaining and what will stand the test of time. Wow.
That was good.
Can I get an amen?
Nice. So thank you for that. Besides the whistling and all that, I think we got it all in though, right? I think that was for you, looking sharp and spiffy. So Steve, thank you for kicking off our ISTE experience here with our podcast. We'll be live for all of you watching for the next 3 days. Come by here. We're going to be here for the next couple of hours. We've been giving away some books and prizes, so keep watching. These will also be live on the YouTube channel as well. Steve's Twitter handle is right there, @Teach42. Check out one of his tons of sessions. Check out the book and all the great work that he is doing. So, Steve, thank you for taking the risk and being the first podcaster on this experience.
My pleasure. Happy to kick it off with you. And here's to a great ISTE.
All right. Have a great day, everybody. And we are stronger together when we put we over me.